Today, I want to talk about change and how a priority needs to be ourselves. When we're trying to change society, systems, when we're trying to change people, we can become very frustrated and we can become very burnt out by the resistance to change. And it is a good thing to want to change the world for the better. It is a good thing to want to change systems for the better and to change people. The only issue is that we don't have control over people. The only person that we have control over is ourselves. And if you're someone that is into self development and self improvement, you'll realize how difficult that is. You'll realize how difficult it is to change yourself, to become the ideal you. Even something as small as addictions can be so difficult and impossible to change. And so I want to come back to us, to come back to ourselves. If you're in the self improvement, self development field, you might think that you've conquered everything. You might get to a point where you feel content with who you are. And you might feel, okay, there is places that you can improve on, there are areas that you need to improve on, but maybe in comparison to other people, you are ahead. Even if you are ahead, even if you have been working on yourself and improving yourself for a long time, there is still a lot to change. It never changes. There is still so much that you can improve on. And so this video is just a reminder that if you're in the self-development field, if you're in the area of even in the political world where you're trying to make changes, come back to yourself for a moment. Come back to yourself and realize that there are still things that you need to change, that you are not perfect at. And it is not to say that we can't desire for a better world and for people to behave better, but that change starts with ourselves. Change begins at home. I think there's a differentiation that needs to happen here, because there are things that we have standards for how people treat us, and we should maintain those standards. It's not about changing your standards, it's about letting go of trying to control other people, letting go of trying to change your circumstances to a point and to a degree. It's not to say, okay, well, I'm going to completely give up and not do anything and not take any action at all to change systems and to change people. But it is doing the right actions, but also having that level of detachment and not trying to control people and events. When we go to God, we are not going to be asked about the actions of other people. God is not going to question us on what other people were doing. God is going to ask you about yourself. God is going to ask you about you. What did you do? What did you change? Who did you become? And so, if you're someone who's become very focused on the external, it's to rein that in. And I'm saying it because I am talking to other people about change. I would love for people to work on themselves and to work on their development. It is to also recognize myself that I have so far to go, that I am not nowhere near perfect and nowhere near my ideal self. And there's so much that even though that I can give advice on or I have knowledge on, that knowledge, it doesn't mean that I am implementing that in the complete sense. Having knowledge and knowing what you should do is not the same as being that person as well. You might know that you shouldn't eat unhealthy food. You have that knowledge that actually I shouldn't eat all this sugary food. But doing it is a different thing altogether. You can have the knowledge of something. I can have the knowledge of how to be healed and how to create peace within yourself. But having that knowledge and acting on it is completely different. And that's why I believe that it's always better to be a student than a teacher. When you're a student, you're always in learning mode. You're always in a curious state. And you're always in a state of absorbing information and learning. But when you're a teacher, you're giving knowledge. And you can become, and to even get to a stage of a teacher, you have to have a certain amount of information and amount of knowledge. And so it can feel like actually you're there already. And to a point, you do have to, the level you're at will reflect on your knowledge. But there are also areas that you have knowledge on, but it's still very difficult for you. You're never fully perfect and you're never fully completely there. You don't ever arrive at your destination. There's always things that you can improve on. And so if you've become focused on changing people and changing the world, there needs to be moments and there needs to be more focus on changing yourself. That should be 70% of where your focus is on. 70% is on how you are going to change yourself, and 30% needs to be externally, how you can change the conditions around you and the people around you. But majority of that energy, majority of that focus should be on yourself. And when you keep that balance and not get so stuck on if people are changed, if people are learning from this, if people are getting benefit from this, at least even if other people are not getting benefit from this, I am getting benefit from it. I'm receiving benefit from me teaching. So as long as you keep the focus majority on yourself, change will happen. There is a saying that you cannot change the conditions of the people before you change the condition of yourself. You can't change people, you can't change systems until you first change what's within you. And once you change what's within you, you will see that other people will follow. People will change, systems will change, but it requires you to change first. And it requires you to get to a certain level of change before other people can change. Let's say you're trying to change the world, you're trying to change someone, you're trying to change a system, you're trying to change the people's mindset. If you haven't experienced any difficulty, you might not see the changes. You have to face a level of difficulty to then create change. And the example I want to give is during slavery, there were many movements. And it was because of the change that individuals, that they took action, they created change within themselves, and that enabled the change. So for example, Rosa Parks, when she refused to get up, when she refused to obey the system, she wasn't changing anyone else, she was just changing herself. She refused to participate in the system. Change was created. And so that would have been so extremely difficult for you to do something as simple as not getting up when you've been told to get up. You might think it's a small thing when it comes to you. You might feel like changing certain things or taking certain actions, but no one else is doing it, so why should I bother? No, that's not how we need to think about change. It's not about whether other people are doing it, it's whether you're doing it. We can't ask other people to change. We can't ask other people to do, okay, you need to do this so, we can all create change. No, what can you do individually that you're not doing because other people are not doing? Don't look externally. Don't look outward to see what others are doing. Do what you feel is the right thing. Don't ask of morality from other people. Ask of morality from yourself. And once you're able to act on your own morals and act with integrity, you probably won't need to ask other people to act with integrity and to act on morality. It will just happen. You changing that level of integrity within yourself will change the level of integrity within other people. You affect other people. We live in the universe. In the universe, it doesn't just stand alone. It is impacted by other elements. It's impacted by us. We impact the universe impacts us. We are synchronized in that sense that we can't act and impact ourselves alone. Even our actions, this idea that, okay, well, I'm not harming anyone, well, I'm not doing anything by not doing anything. You are impacting. Whether you take action or whether you don't take action, it is still an action. And so everything that you do will impact the other person. And that is good news, because even when we're changing ourselves, we think that we're not changing the world, but we are. By changing ourselves, by becoming better people, by becoming more moral, by acting with integrity, we change the world. We might not feel it, we might not see it, but we do change the world. And so in this field of self-improvement and self-healing. By me creating inner peace within myself, it might not feel like I'm affecting other people, but I do. It might not be immediately, it might not be right now, it might happen progressively, but it will happen. Change begins at home, change begins with you, and then it extends outward. It's not change happens externally and then it happens internally. It is just understanding the pyramid. The pyramid is you're at the top of that pyramid of change, and then it's other people. So if you're able to maintain that level of control over yourself and to change yourself, then it's going to be easier for you to change the world. It's going to be easier for you to create healing within other people and to guide people towards a better way of life. So change yourself, and then change will happen for others.